Welcome back to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. In this live episode from SaaS Summit Benelux, René de Jong and I break down how SaaS companies can scale and prepare an exit for 2026. We discuss what separates the SaaS businesses that hit the rule of 40 from those that don't, how buyers evaluate companies in the current market, and why net revenue retention, efficient growth, and AI-driven scalability matter more than ever. René also shares practical insights into ARR multiples, earnouts, strategic buyers, and what founders should focus on, both in the early stages from 0 to 10k MR all the way towards 10 million AR. So if you're planning your go-to-market for 2026 or planning an exit, this episode will give you clear, no-nonsense guidance from René. So let's just dive right in. Welcome to the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. Could you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
My name is René de Jong. I help entrepreneurs and specifically SaaS entrepreneurs with the sale of their company. So in the end, SaaS entrepreneurs want an exit strategy. I help them to think about their exit strategy, and then I also help them with the whole process of selling the company to a third party.
Nice. Well, before you can sell, you need to scale. So we're going to talk about scaling your SaaS in 2026.
Correct.
What do you think will separate the SaaS companies which are scaling in 2026 and the ones that don't?
Well, if we look at it from a buyer's perspective, it's really important to show growth. And if you can show that your company is growing in a steady phase, and when SaaS companies sell the company, we always talk about the rule of 40, which means that you need to grow at least with 40% each year. If you hit those marks, then selling your company will be a lot easier. If you are not able to hit those marks and you're not able to hit the rule of 40, so to say, then you'll experience that in terms of valuation, things will turn out differently for you. Because if I look at valuation and then specifically with the ARR multiples, then you really need to show growth as part of your whole strategy.
Yeah. And what do you see that the companies who are growing, doing well versus the ones which aren't hitting the 40 mark?
Well, the go-to-market strategy is, of course, really important. If I look at the companies that really create growth fast, then they have their whole marketing and sales. And I typically like to call that new business team up and running. But what they're also really capable of is growing their existing client base. So I always talk about landing new clients, which is really important, of course, and show growth there in that area. But also being able to grow within your customer base and show it's a metric that I'm always talking about, the net revenue retention, which is really important if we talk about the expense side of your business. So I think if you want to do things properly, you want to check both the go-to-market and the expense side of your business.
Yeah, and when we talk about NRR, what should be the number a company should aim for?
Honestly, of course, you prefer to go above 100, but it varies specifically based on your customer base. For instance, there are companies who have a lot more churn, which of course also has impact on your valuation. Yeah, it's a combination. So there's not one typical number to tell you, but it's more about a combination of things like how dependent are you of 10% of your clients, a top 10 clients? What's your churn? How are you capable to grow within your existing customer field? So it's more a combination. And what I prefer to do is, if I talk to SaaS entrepreneurs, look at their situation and see, okay, what do we see in your market? And are you hitting standards that are specific for your market? Because one SaaS company is not the same as the other SaaS. So
a lot of founders now are looking at, like, I guess, efficient growth. So looking at efficiency, and then of course they want to still keep on growing. So you still need to spend. Like, how do you see that balance changing in 2026?
Well, of course, AI is a buzzword right now. I hear it all the time, and it's also something that potential buyers always ask to potential entrepreneurs that they want to join the family, so to say. They always ask, what's your goal with AI? How can we scale? Because you asked, René, what is it in terms of scale that's important? For buyers, it's more and more important that you're capable of scaling also through the use of AI or other smart solutions. So I see that it's getting more and more important for SaaS entrepreneurs to look at their business and think about scalability and also increasing the revenue per employee, because that's another metric that's getting more and more important to look at, especially with everything that's going on with AI.
Yeah. Because in the end, you can enable people to do more efficiently their work. But when we even look at nowadays, you have a lot of AI native companies, right? And by default, they often have higher costs because of the AI to run. Like, how do you see, I guess, that impacting the valuation or even selling of an AI native company?
There are two phases that are really important to look at. The first phase is when you're looking for capital or investors, we talk about venture capital. And typically, the AI agents, AI companies that you're talking about, those are typically venture capital driven right now because they're still really early stage. I talk to a lot of great SaaS entrepreneurs who have the next big thing. And then valuations are totally different than when you look at maybe old school SaaS company, which is already there for 5 or 10 years. So valuation-wise, there's a big difference within venture capital and the SaaS companies that are now upcoming and the native SaaS companies and the companies that are now, they already have a customer base, they already have ARR, they already have EBITDA, profit, so to say. And for them, the last group, it's really important to innovating, to check how can I use AI, and that will help their valuation. But those are two different worlds, so to say.
Yeah, because is it then that AI native companies need to be VC backed to be able to cover the cost, I guess, to grow fast?
In many cases it is. Yeah.
How do you see the freemium model taking place in 2026? Will that still exist with AI native companies?
Hard to say. Again, there are so many different SaaS companies and so many different SaaS solutions. The only thing that I see is if I look back like 5 years ago, the market really changed in terms of valuation. We were all talking about the ARR multiples. We were all talking about double-digit ARR multiples that were being paid. But what you saw 5 years ago when the financial markets, they were under pressure, you saw that the valuations for the ARR multiples were decreasing because of the fact that investors also wanted to have profitability. They also wanted to have EBITDA. And so now we're again in a situation where everybody is valuating those AI native companies really high. But the question is, how will it be in 5 years when also AI is getting more custom and that you see more companies using AI? So right now, those founders, they need to be on that hype and they need to go for those high valuations. But once you get in the scaling up phase, then the multiples will change eventually.
Are you already running an affiliate or referral program, but it's not really driving growth? Reditus is the affiliate and referral platform built exclusively for B2B SaaS. Combining an in-app referral program, an affiliate network of over 20,000 SaaS affiliates, and AI-powered recruitment that finds new relevant affiliates for you. Migrate for free with our white glove service. Affiliates can keep their link and you can start managing both programs from one single place. With tracking, payouts and fraud detection all handled for you, you can start building a scalable growth channel that compounds without high upfront cost. Want to learn more? Check out getreditus.com. You talk about multiples, right? Like, is there a benchmark if people are listening right now and they think like, well, for how much can I sell my company? What should they be taking into a range?
Well, if I talk about the second group, so that's the group of companies that are here already for a couple of years, 5 years or longer, then we talk about let's say 3.5 times ARR, which is the average that we see. But honestly, that's in my opinion, the part that should be cash at closing. And then, we recently sold 2 companies with a double-digit ARR multiple. But what happened there is part of it was being paid in an earnout. Part of it was being done via a Reinvest. And part was being done through cash at closing. And I think it's really important for SaaS entrepreneurs to keep that in mind. Because people always think, okay, I get a 10 times ARR, but in the end, it almost never is being paid at full at the start. So what you get is, for instance, what I just said, around 3.5 times ARR in cash, then another 3 in earnout, and then maybe another 3 in you reinvesting in the larger platform that you're going to be part of. So I think that's giving you hopefully the insights. If we talk about the startups, the newly AI-driven companies, and then sky is the limit, as you can also see in foreign countries. But that has all to do with venture capital versus private equity.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's almost a Dutch saying, it's what the crazy person gives for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's always the case in my opinion, also if it's not AI-driven. For instance, I always say, if you want to sell your company, your SaaS company, look at the 1 + 1 is 3 situation. So strategic buyers pay more for your company when they see a 1 and 1 equals 3 situation. So as part of your exit strategy, it's always smart to think ahead and see, okay, where in what kind of buyers can I be present so that in the end they're going to pay more for me than just a financial buyer who's going to pay a lower multiple.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, like one thing people can already, or founders can already prepare themselves, like figure out who could be your strategic buyers.
Yeah, really important. Also with your scaling up strategy, think about, okay, who could be the next person to buy my company?
Yeah. And then the second thing I got out of it is that don't look too much at the LinkedIn headlines like, hey, we sold our company for 20 million or 10 million, because in the end, there's always going to be a part which is purchase price, earnouts, other.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, so that's always something that's bugging me, because a SaaS entrepreneur comes to me and say, hey, I want to sell my company and I have this number in my mind, and then I always have to downgrade it and say, maybe the number is feasible, but honestly, it will not be cash at closing. It will not be paid right at the moment that you put your signature on the paper. And that's something that you really need to take in consideration. And I always say that the earnout needs to be the cherry on the pie, or how you call it in English, but you know what I want to say. So be happy with the cash at closing, work for the earnout and go for it, but be sure that it's that bit of extra, that you're not, you don't need it, but that it would be really nice to, of course, receive it.
Yeah, so kind of treat it like a bonus. If you can get it, it's fine, but you should be happy with the purchase price.
Yeah, otherwise an earnout can be a burnout, because if you really need to hit the marks, if you really need to take those next steps, then in many cases you'll see that it will lead to a burnout, because you have to have that money, and things can always go differently than you expected it to be.
Yeah. Nice. If we look at 2026, what do you think is going to be one growth loop which is going to be super powerful for SaaS companies to leverage?
Well, embedding AI within the land and expand funnel, as I just mentioned, is going to be really important. What buyers are looking for is scalability, as I mentioned earlier, and not through extra employees, but through working smarter, not harder. So I think if you're capable to automate the land part with getting those new clients on board, and the expand part where you're able to, through also product-led growth, have your clients use more of your software, use more of your solutions, that's going to be highly important. So using agents, I don't see that in too many cases yet, which I'm a bit surprised of, honestly. And I see that a lot of entrepreneurs are still struggling to find, okay, where should I use it and how can I use it? But I think the use of those agents in the land and expand funnel management is going to be highly important.
Nice. Final 2 questions. So we're going to talk about revenue stages. Yeah. So for a SaaS founder who's just starting out, going from 0 to 10K monthly recurring revenue, what kind of advice would you give him? Can be anything.
Wow, what a question. Well, first of all, I think if you're in that field, then enjoy the ride and keep learning from every step that you take. Because if I look back at when I started my company, my first company, I was 25 years old. Everything was possible, of course. And I think what's really important is to constantly look at what are you doing and learn from the things that you do. Also gather some people around you who have already done it. In the past, I've had many people who helped me within the whole journey of my entrepreneurship. So have people on board who can show you the mirror and show you, hey, this is what I see that you're doing, but also give you tips and tricks. That's why I love also this conference. I mean, I've been a fan of the SaaS Base when it was still called SaaS Base. Now it's We Love SaaS, but I think it will help those entrepreneurs to not make the mistakes as many others did.
Yeah, so find a community, find people who can help you, either it's being in the Netherlands or there's many communities out there.
Yeah, it's a whole new world if you start a company, if you're building it up for up until 10k MRR, and find people who can help you and are willing to invest in you is, in my opinion, really important in that phase. A lot of entrepreneurs think about, we need money and we need to grow through money. But for me, smart capital is not about money only. Of course, you need money to take steps, but smart capital means for me that you have people around you who already have done this in the past and who are able to help you take that next step.
Final question. So assume we passed 10k MRR. We're going to make a huge step towards 10 million ARR. Yeah. What kind of advice would you give SaaS founders here?
Well, the funny thing is we always talk about those numbers. But honestly, if I look at the number of SaaS entrepreneurs that make that number, it's really a limited group, because somehow it feels as if when they hit 1 or 2 or 3 million that they're already thinking about an exit. So if you really want to go for the 10 million, then I would suggest, first of all, walk your own path. There's so many venture capitalists and so many people who want something from you, but keep your focus and decide how you want to achieve that path. Because there are, of course, entrepreneurs who call me and say, hey, René, I want to hit the 10 million mark. I don't want to do it through autonomous growth. I want to do it through a buy and build. And that's something that I see more and more. Buy and build scenarios are helpful in hitting that mark and in achieving those goals. And maybe you then have to sell part of your shares, but that's not too bad in my opinion, because you're then part of a larger group. And in many cases, it will help you also boost your growth. So doing it through autonomous growth, I see that less and less in the Netherlands. I see it through buy and build. But creating your own path and think ahead, constantly think ahead, not about how we're going to hit marks tomorrow, but about a bigger goal, so to say, 3 or 5 years. I think that's really important because the world is changing really fast. We see it all, and think about how you want to achieve that.
Nice. If people want to get in contact with you, René, how can they do so?
If they want to contact me, that can be done through LinkedIn maybe. Maybe that's the easiest way. You can find me on LinkedIn or go to my website, anno9082.nl. And there we have a lot more information about everything you asked. And you can also hear other podcasts and info. So,
Nice. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for watching this show of the Grow Your B2B SaaS podcast. You made it till the end, so I think we can assume you like this content. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, feel free to reach out if you want to sponsor the show. If you have a specific guest in mind, if you have a specific topic you want us to cover, reach out to me on LinkedIn. More than happy to take a look at it. If you want to know more about Reditus, feel free to reach out as well. But for now, have a great day and good luck growing your B2B SaaS.